Peace and love, indigenous black people of America. This video, I advise everybody, I don't care if you're Pan-Africanist, Kemetic, Muslim, Christian, Catholic, everybody, make it your business. Make it your business to go check out the brother Dane Calloway's information. It's phenomenal how, as you go on this journey of expanding your consciousness or expanding your information book called brain, and you constantly will continue to find more and more information. At one time, if you go look at my old videos, I was in different realms, but those are stages of growth. It ain't got nothing to do about making up your mind, because don't nobody on these sites have the full truth. They may have a truth on this one particular situation or a realm of knowledge or school of thought, or they may be right on this realm. But there's a lot of brothers right on the realms that they seek, but we have to get away from telling brothers where they need to be, or who the hell they are. You have to do your homework though, bro. I'm already in the process of going through the vital statistic records. I done a lot of work already to already know that we derive from the Seminole Nation, coming from the Carolinas and Florida, which was I was born. I just got to talk to some more relatives, older relatives, just older than me, that know more things. But I'm gonna get to it. But as far as I know, I've been following the brother Dane Calloway information for a year, and I've been backdooring his information to make sure. And one thing about me, I'm a realist here in Street Intellect. I don't care who you are. If your information is accurate according to that situation, then that's what it is, But we have to really, really focus on who the hell we are. I understand what the brother's saying, and I agree with him, knowledgeable wise. I know about the African and all that type of stuff like that, despite how they did this and mixed it all up and got us so proud to be something we never been to, is one thing. But all knowledge, from my knowledge of understanding over these 30 years, 25, 30 years of studying, is that all knowledge ties into all knowledge, no matter how far and near. So you're not going to limit a person like me to focus strictly on Kemet or focus strictly on Africa, when we supposed to have, we have circumference the whole planet, the whole globe. We're global people. We're not a one stated person. Now we all may be, I'm talking about melanated people. We all may have derived from a melanated germ or geology, because the planet consists of the first people to be here to be melanated. So we know we all come from a melanated origin. I'm not going to sit here and try to use the word Africa, or try to use the word Akibilan, or try to use the word this, because, it's so many things in history that proves otherwise. Okay, not saying that those things ain't true and these things ain't true, but we got to look at other things other than one. That's why I have put myself on the universal minds of thinking. I don't want to be put in no box, because being put in the box is still on one level, keeps you on the same level. You have to be universal. You got to have knowledge on so many different levels to be able to understand them to a non-biased understanding fashion. Because, if somebody want to talk to me about Spain, and me knowing the knowledge of the Moors going into the Spain, I can sit there and talk to them about the knowledge of Spain and what the Moors has contributed to Spain. I can talk about how the original people that came from, that was in China, in exile in China, and all the dynasties prior to what you consider Chinese, so on and so forth today. And I can go on to those levels. You can't just be based on one level, and then when it's time to talk about, hey, well, I'm from here, and we done the same thing too. Well, I don't know how to relate to that, because, we did it, and but you're not knowing that your origins may link to theirs, and over years evolving, they became who they are, using some bits of form or similarities of others' ways of life. So I don't consider myself not connected to nothing. I just know that I am indigenous to this America, and I'm not gonna be considering myself black, even though I may call people black people, or so on and so forth. That's only to get your attention, to relate to what you already know. So when we use those terms, don't mean that we stand by them on those levels. Those are the terms that you are still encast into relating to when it comes to us conversating to you guys. I know I'm more always fiery and so on and so forth, but it doesn't mean that a brother cannot really just sit here and talk to you logically about what's necessary for our well-being and benefit as a people. Okay. Intellectually wise, all of us should know how to do some form of research. We know that Google is a piece of crap, and so on and so forth, so we can go so far with that. You have to go dig into them records, vital statistics, vital records, go to family origin, go through the birth certificates. I'm already sending for my other birth certificate that will have my mother's and father's I forgot it, but I am ordering a package from Dane, Calloway, because after my year of studying, I can't refute the brother's information, because and for brothers to sit here to try to refute that is just futile, because you're making yourself look stupid when you talk about African people being so-called black people, or African people being all around the continent, but you can't relate to black people in the other form of tribalism, and the other form of unity was working doing something somewhere else. So all over this globe, melanated people has made great vast civilizations, and America happened to be one of those prior to the other civilizations. Yet alone, we have to understand that dealing with the people here, melanated people came from all type of places to America. If you go search this, you'll find out that we came here and all from different places. Thousands and thousands of years ago, prior to the $5 Indians and the mixed Indians from the white man's and so on and so forth. We have to understand that when you look at Africa saying that's a civilization, but really they still found the oldest things in Australia. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go do the research, you find out that they got older things going on in Australia. So that goes to show that you can't plant everything in one geographical location, because if all this was once connected, and it was at one time called Pangea, you can go do the homework, that mean that despite how these lands has drifted during the continental drifts, doesn't necessarily links you to being from that continent, because if you have broken off from that continent and never set foot on that continent, it doesn't necessarily make you that person. Even though we have these colonizers renaming everything and changing our nationalities and got us all fighting behind a gang of mumbo jumbo, when we all should be claiming where the hell we at. It's just like in your neighborhood. I was raised up in this neighborhood. many of us may not have been born there, but we was raised up through our adolescence into our mid-teens, to our teens, to adulthood in these neighborhoods. We ain't gonna care where the hell you from. In this United Snakes of America, we ain't gonna care where you from. We just gonna know where the fuck we from. We gonna know that, hey nigga, this is what I know. I'm from here. Like people down south, hey, I'm from the south. You're gonna know where a person's from because they locations and what's in their environment. So to say you're how they manipulated the term to use Jesse Jackson as to say it, African American, that doesn't apply to us because we haven't been associated with Africans for centuries. I mean, no, we probably have been meeting into them during the times of South America and Africans coming in from the slave trade, and some of us probably have some African blood mixed in us because the slave trade brought a few here and took so many of us from here, and and at the same time the African blood may linger into us, but that does not give none of these people the audacity to say where we from. You're not going to take me from somewhere where I got 5 to 10 generations of family members here here to a place where I don't have a generation of direct genealogy to that place. It makes a lot of sense, logical sense. This is why they're so hard up on trying to force us to be African American, making them Black Panthers and all this stuff to get us to continue to push this facade that we are from there when these people don't accept us in that way. Don't let nobody fool you to believe that going to Africa, you're going to be wholeheartedly accepted. They're all messed up and brainwashed and colonized over there too. So when you go over there and they know you from America, they want something from you. And they know you come from a place that got more opportunities than they have in their processes. I mean, I'm not talking down on Africa. I love all the melanated beings. You know what I'm saying? But if they all stand for bullshit, we can't relate to that. We have to save what we too busy worried about trying to save a place we ain't never been. But we've been here for thousands of years, not understanding that this is our land and these fools trying to manipulate us to claim something that ain't even ours, and we don't even have no stronghold there to that place unless some of y'all want to go to Ghana and get some of the land set aside by the Ghanaians, because I will respect and give respect to Ghana. Big up to Ghana. Apologizing for the slave trade, dealing with some of the brothers they sent over there, but they're not really relating totally to us. You know what I'm saying? They relating to the brothers that ran from different parts in Africa to their land, and they gave up a lot of them instead of their own. It's not necessary us, the indigenous that was already here. I advise you brothers to go look up Dane Calloway. I don't represent brothers all so much like that because, you know, it doesn't serve a benefit. We can call ourselves Africans, Comedics. I can wear the biggest ankhs. I can wear the biggest dream catchers and all that. Our true power is our nationality. We don't have a nationality that we really can claim by documented proof. And I'm not talking about some shit on walls in Egypt and shit somewhere else. I'm talking about what the fuck's going on here. Because there's a conspiracy going on dealing with the black people here in America. And I really mean indigenous, so mark, you know, ride with me. But Dane Calloway have very, very, very dramatical work. He's very professional. He's one of the most professional documentary, self-documentary enthusiasts man I have ever seen in our circle. You know what I'm saying? Not pertaining to others or degrading others. I'm saying this man is literally single-handedly doing these things himself. And, you know, I see that what he was saying was linking to things that Malcolm said, linking to the things that Martin Luther King said. You know what I'm saying? Because Martin Luther King wasn't so much dealing with Africa. Martin Luther King was so much dealing with what was going on here. And it's kind of like the brother picked up after where they left off at, because when we've been claiming this Afrocentric and all this black stuff around the globe stuff, which is basically true in many ways than one, but none of these things do nothing for us here in America. It don't do nothing for us here in America. Africa come over here proud to say, yes, I'm from Nigeria, I'm from the Congo, I'm from Ethiopia, I'm from Egypt. They're going to come over here and represent that shit. But we got to go over there and say, hey, we coming back. So to say we have to go back to Africa is like saying that we ain't really global really. It's like taking, erasing this, saying this don't exist. You just got to go back to Africa because there wasn't no black people here prior to the pale faces that's here. Yeah, this is a big missing piece of the puzzle when it comes to us learning black history. And as my studies going on, learn about California and all that, you know what I'm saying, how the Spanish did everything, the French mixed everything up. And we ain't talking about Mexicans. Okay? We talking about Spaniards, white folks. Mexican ain't nothing but a manipulated mixture of another thing. They're not indigenous to this. They're indigenous through the bloodline of us, but they're not indigenous to this land like what we would consider black people or Negroid or the copper colored people, because ain't none of those fools on them reservations are copper colored. Okay, you got black Indian reservations, brother, that's all throughout America. And my plan in the future, you know what I'm saying, the Most High willingly, and I will pursue that because I am my own destined. You know what I'm saying? The universe is what I'm talking about, with the energies lining up for me to do that. You can study all the metaphysical knowledge, do all those things. but understand where you are. That's why the key to this stuff is know thyself. You have to know thyself. I'm touching into rituals and stuff that they've been touching into on this land, you know. I mean, we can use all these knowledge because they're for the melanated beings. So don't get it twisted that, oh, if you claim here, you can't claim African stuff or you can't claim this. No, we've been associated with each other for eons. So, you know, despite the word Africa, you take that out of there, you just see melanated people associating with each other. That's what you're going to see. Trading and conversating and sharing knowledge and wisdom with each other. That's basically what we were always doing. So, and when you look at the history, you will find that. So my destination, I done went to the peak of where I can go look it up and stuff, but I can't link no relatives that I know that's to Africa. And along with the slave trade hoax, not saying that it wasn't no slave, no boats, but it wasn't as a mass of numbers as they want to claim. Because then you got to ask how many Europeans, if you want to bring, you know what I'm saying, these millions of slaves over here, you have to have millions of white people on the water doing this, millions of ships. So shit, that's a lot. But that's another story in itself, and you guys can pretty much go find that for some of the brothers. I was just sharing my condolences and my respect and giving you guys a up and up that if you're going to go follow the brother Dane Calloway, that's a good brother to follow. And I support the brother. And I believe we all should support the brother, and we all should follow suit and claim what the fuck is ours. We ain't talking about getting no gang of money and go buying land that's already yours just to say that you got some land. I mean, that's good too. But we got things that's hidden from us. We have treaties and money and bills hidden from us. We got brothers on reservations now. I got a brother from the Seminole Nation when I was explaining to him that my family is tied to the Seminole Nation, and so he said, well, brother, all you got to do, he told me what to do. He's there representing the stuff. I see it. The Most High give me the information in your face. When you sincere for this truth, the truth will appear to you. But when you're not sincere for the truth and you scared of the truth or have some kind of bias way for the truth, you're going to continue to be indoctrinated with lies. You're going to continue to be presented with a new liar. And you won't have the knowledge to be able to know that this liar is in your presence. You understand what I'm saying? So your sincerity is your initiation of getting that higher knowledge or that next level knowledge or that guide. I got a brother. He come there. And he said, yeah, man, I'm going to reservation. We all get stuff. We don't have to go through all you got to do is go through your birth certificates, find your relatives, link your relatives back. And once you find your relatives back, you bring that to the Seminole Nation and show them, look, hey, this is my great-great-great-grandmother, such and such and such, and give this to them. And once they put it in their records and they see that she is tied to them, that's all you have to do, brother. He said they don't really go too much through that system because the system is so corrupt and a lot of them is scared to really express who they are as Native Americans or what we would consider Native Americans, indigenous, because, you know, a lot of them are old and they're dying. So we, like the brother said, we have to support these brothers. We have to stand up for that. We've been standing up for Africa for so long. Ain't not one motherfucking African came to this motherfucker standing up tall for us other than Marcus Garvey. Okay? I don't despite what the other brothers say. I'll never take success points from any of our melanated brothers to the point where they're going to get disbanded or thrown away. We need those methods he used. We need a lot of methods that Malcolm used. We need a lot of methods that nations and different ones use, just as success points. We don't want to focus up on all their imperfections and so on and so forth. We want success points. We have all the tools and the blueprints we need to do all this. But we have to check our nationality. We cannot be considered. That is so true. When it come down to it, I put on them African American, but the Africans don't even represent me. So I said, damn, how can I do this? So now I'm setting it up to change all of my kids' stuff. I've been putting stuff. I went up on all our insurance policies, changing everything to indigenous American. You know what I'm saying? Or Aboriginal American. I put all those, that's on our birth certificate because that's more suitable for me to put than an African American term that was given to us in 1985, 86, somewhere around the area through Jesse Jackson composing that to us for these crackers. And now we picked that up. We got African American, Negro, Afro American. What the fuck? Come on, man. This is just showing you that these motherfuckers don't have to know what to call us. We get a new motherfucking name every 8 to 12 years. Fucking 8 to 20 years. I mean, 12 to 20 years. Come on now. We need to get this shit right and straight. And brothers up here puffed up with pride and got all these people behind them because you've been pushing the black line and the African movement and all that. Okay, that's all great and fine and dandy and so on and so forth. Yeah, but what are the people really fighting for? They fighting for a country that they can't even get back to. They fighting for a country that they don't got nothing there to go back to or get. They fighting for a country they can't even really fully claim that is really theirs because they don't have no proof to prove that they from there other than saying that we came through a slave trade. But we can say that we have this land right here. And that's the land that we need to start focusing on. It's called Turtle Island, today called America. Peace and love.